Okay. I have to preface this by saying the last 2 weeks have been unusual. And I got zero prep work done. And yeah, it's just been a thing. So we're gonna see how tonight goes. We're gonna do something completely new, game mechanics wise, that I've been excited about and avoiding all at the same time. But it's going to be what it's going to be, and that's where we are. So let's recap. And I'm tired of talking. Who remembers what?
We had some drinks with ESPN8, the Ocho.
Correct.
And discussed a few things, unwinded a little bit, had a little shopping. We went to the ship and were surprised that ESPN was there for the ride. And then he showed us in the contract where it said that he was to tag along. What else did my notes say?
That's right. That's when Atticus got all... Well, that's when Mark went full-on paranoid and had Atticus break out his lawyer hat.
Yep.
That was entertaining for me to watch.
Yeah, we asked him to open up his case, and he has a bunch of spare parts for himself, including a whole head.
Yep. And all the cargo got loaded and you guys took off, right?
Yep.
And then what happened?
Then we went into... I think we went through a jump gate, and then we were on our way to another jump gate.
Yep.
And or our destination, and there were people sitting still in the path.
Which freaked everybody out.
Yeah, we had been warned about, what were they called? Gate
camps.
Campers?
Yep, gate camps.
And so we popped out of the gate and we saw a bunch of ships, and they turned out to be apparently mercenaries that were protecting the gate. And then midway between gate A and gate B, we discovered our I can't remember his name. Our scanner expert spotted could have been boulders.
That would be
could have been ships.
Greg,
Moon Unit, that's right. And so we went around them, and then made it to the next gate, and I believe we began the process of the jump. And who wants to describe the cliffhanger?
Well, let's let Mark do it.
So I had a dream. That's her name. Right, Rosie.
Nope.
Yeah, I know it's not.
Sweet Candy.
Candy was staring at me in my sleep.
Hey, you want to see Candy? Actually, that's one of the few things that I did this week was made her token. Are you ready?
I think so.
There you go, Mark. We'll see you later.
I made that with AI, and it's really funny. I'm learning how to deal with that thing and make images. So I tweaked. I mean, at first she looked like the most collagen-lipped woman in the history of ever. So we scaled that back, and it turned out okay. But then I thought, she's supposed to be wearing a spaghetti string shirt. That looks like a nightgown. So I said, or not a nightgown, but like a underwear kind of thing. So I said, remove all the frilly stuff from the shirt, and it added a ridiculous amount more. So that didn't make it in. But
Sometimes more is less.
yeah, she looked like she'd been attacked by the lace goblin. That was weird. Moving on. Anyway. Yeah, you had a dream about candy. What was that?
Exactly, but it definitely wasn't good. It ended up with her staring at me. Then I woke up again.
I mean, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Okay, and then what happened? Anything?
Well, the cliffhanger that I was referring to was the during the jump, we got a I believe the ship started to shake, or did we just get messages that the ship was experiencing a failure?
No, there was there was a very big jolt. Like unsettlingly violent. And then you started getting all kinds of notifications, and the sound of the ship changed. And the notification was...
Radiation in the engineering room?
Yeah, radiation leak in the engineering room, which is where Mark was hanging out. So Mark vacated the premises very quickly. And that's pretty much where we stopped, if memory serves. Okay.
I believe so.
Yep. So...
Well, help me out here. Did we get... Last I remember, actually, when it came to some of the space flight, we'd actually just jumped into a system. And we needed to cruise down the road just a little bit to get into the next jump.
Yep.
And there was something in the way.
Right, that was the ships that we talked about going around. We weren't sure that they were ships or rocks, but we didn't get close enough to be certain.
That was indeed the case. And I turned the volume on that down just in time for it to end. Okay. So there's that. Now, I preloaded that. So there's that. Good old sector space. You guys, if you remember, are in the Nemenas system, or Nemanus, depending on how one wants to pronounce it, which has everybody on edge because it is nullsec, and this is the system where you encountered the it definitely wasn't a gate camp, because nobody was around the gate but you. But there was a ship or some entity that was just sitting still. That's where you bypassed, and you, excuse me, you hit the gate, and let's see, I can't remember. This is terrible of me, but I apologize. I can't remember. Were you in system jumping to get to the next gate to head to the next system, or did we get to the next gate and it was in between systems? Ah, that's it. Yep. We got to the gate and you made the jump and you were headed for another system because it was going to take something like 36 hours.
That sounds right.
Yep. And you were, gosh, I don't know. What did I say? 30 hours in? 18 hours in? I don't know. You're some amount of hours in.
Yeah, I think we'd had a sleep cycle.
Yes, you definitely had a sleep cycle. And if I remember right, you were doing not necessarily watches, but doing shifts. So at least one of you is up during that time. And you're all up now because the poop emoji hit the fan. And so you have left or are leaving Nemenas, and you are headed toward Okarl, which sounds a lot like something from The Walking Dead. So we'll call it Okaril. Okaril is a larger, respectively. It's a larger system, 151 astronomical unit diameter, and your charts. There's not much to know about it. You do know that the habitable zone is going to be, man, that volume. You do know that the habitable zone on that is going to be on the outer ring because of the makeup of it, and white yellow supergiant systems usually have some asteroid belt activity. So there's that. But that is not our chief concern. I did make a change. I think all of you probably saw it because this was loaded up when we started. I got to thinking, and I thought, when you're in the ship, you only see the inside of the ship, and that takes away just a little bit of the flavor, because I think the ship looks really cool. So I went through and I made some changes to the view. The walls are still in place, but you can actually see the ship itself. So hopefully that is cool.
That is cool. That is cool.
Alrighty, so we pick up. Game is unpaused. You can move around as you wish. Or game is unpaused. I can't remember if I said game is paused or unpaused. But the game is unpaused. Feel free to move around. Mark, you are now bathed in pulsating red light that is set into the ceiling, and it's a warning saying something's busted. What you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, looks like Josh is right next to me too, right?
Yep, he had headed that direction.
Is there any other way? I assume we should not be headed down this way, but we should be headed to the bridge or to Rusty. We got to go figure out what's going on, right?
Yeah, you hear running footsteps coming down the hall, and it's Mark, and he's yelling, "What's going on?" Or not Mark, it's Greg, sorry. And he's yelling, "What's going on?"
Radiation poisoning.
And he turns around and he heads the other direction.
Yeah. So get out of here.
He's kind of freaking out.
Right in the reactor room.
I think we brought. I think I had Rusty come down and help, didn't I?
I can't remember whether or not you called for Rusty or if that was going to be the plan. So we'll just say you called for Rusty, and here Rusty comes.
Yeah, I was just going to have him come down and just check Mark out to make sure that there's nothing, no immediate danger to him or anybody else, or if we need to get him to the sick bay for like radiation treatment.
Okay. He does a scan on Mark. Let me do a thing.
Can I roll the paranoid check?
You automatically succeed or fail, whichever makes you more paranoid. Your choice.
Well, I don't know if that's the intended goal here, but I accepted.
Okay. All right. First aid roll. Oh, he fails, and he says, when the ship lurched, it banged me around a little bit, and it appears that I need to be repaired because that's not working. Come to medbay, and we'll give you a good scan.
Since Josh knows he's going to get taken care of by Rusty, he goes back to let everybody know that Mark's going to get checked out.
Okay.
underneath ESPN 8
You
Ocho.
walked through a door, Rusty. How did you do that?
Rusty gets to go where Rusty wants to. All right. So he's going to be doing that. He's hooking you up to a couple things, and he hands you a
Lollipop.
exactly. Yes. No, it looks like a scanner that it looks like one of those handheld metal detectors when you're going into a concert. And he says, hold that up onto your chest. And he starts a scan.
Ocho for me really quick. Square.
You what?
Can you move ESPN 8 for me?
Oh, you ran into him?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yep. He be moved, and there you are. Okay. Now what you gonna do? What's everybody thinking?
We need to have somebody check that out. So,
Who's our
unfortunately, I think our engineer is the one who's being treated right now. Does anybody else have any engineering skills?
A very
Aiden, can't you?
Let me check. Oh, remember.
a very unsettled Greg comes onto the bridge, having temporarily abandoned his spot in the sensors pod. And he says, I think I can do it. Atticus, what's your computer science skill?
56.
56?
Yes.
Okay, you are better than Greg.
Nice. I guess I'm doing it.
Yep. After a quick chit chat, there's
Let
that.
Pro take over here.
I assume we have a suit or something that we can put him in.
You need to be in a contamination suit.
Tell me I'm not invulnerable to radiation.
No, Greg says. You should be able to check it from one of the terminals here. We're just talking about
Sweet.
like diagnostics.
Good.
Atticus comes out bald.
Oh.
Holy wow. Very nice.
I told you I was good.
That was extremely well done. And I thoroughly lost my notes that I had made because I had very little prep time. So it takes you just a couple of minutes. There is a coupling and a valve inside that coupling that have malfunctioned and need to be replaced. It's a simple fix, but you don't know if you have the part, and you have to be in that room amongst all the radiation in order to fix it. And just laying this out there. If that is not fixed by the time you come out of jump space, the way the ship is built and works, you could have a much larger, fiery problem.
So we have 2 robots. One is kind of can't be used, but we have another one who also has,
What do you mean can't be used?
well, Rusty could be used. He said he had being repaired. Don't know if he can be used or not. But we could send ESPN8 in potentially
I'm
if we
putting
had the
in-
parts.
Oh, okay. You have 3 robots that could be used.
Oh yeah, I forgot about one of them.
I don't think that's going to happen without.
You're going to
If
have
the ship's gonna blow up, somebody's gonna draw straws for it.
Josh, I need you to speak up or maybe adjust your mic volume. Let me see if I can adjust it. You're really quiet for me. Oh yeah, I can bring you up.
Am I quiet for everybody else?
Pretty much.
Not too bad.
But yes.
I can hear you. So, Dax, can you hear me, Dax?
No response.
No, so
Dax?
much for asking him about the inventory.
I mean, we can go down. We go search for parts. Do we have a down in the storeroom? We go looking.
The cargo bay seems like a very logical place to start looking.
Test,
Let's
test,
do
1,
it.
2.
I can hear you.
I could hear you okay. I also jacked your volume up quite a bit and
Yeah, I'm bumping my gains up a little bit.
oh, there you go.
That's better.
Yes. Mucho better. What was it that you said before we started attacking your volume?
I don't remember.
Okay. Okay, cool. It was something I reminded you there was a third droid entity on the ship. And I think there were all kinds of jokes being made after that.
Oh, I said, yeah, we have a third robot, but I don't know that the kind of help that she would give is anything that's needed right now.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I mean, nobody's talked to her to find out what kind of skills she has. So there's no
I'm
telling.
gonna have to do.
And
I'm gonna have to do that here in a minute.
Box and,
I mean,
assume
Dax
where she
could have
can.
had a repair fetish.
Repair fetish. That's terrible.
Whoa.
That's terrible.
Well, there's not much piloting to be done right now, so I guess I will go start looking for parts. What am I looking for?
It was like a coupler, like between some pipes, if I understood that correctly.
Yeah. So Atticus, as you look and you turn your attention back to the screen and you're pointing because it shows the dumb thing. In a not like your average picture off of Imgur, but it's like a green floor plan-y holographic representation of it, complete with measurements and stuff. So you see it there, but as you turn back and you're pointing at it, so excuse me, so Gabe can see it, some wording catches your eye, and it does say that there is one of those on the ship.
Oh, sweet. Where's that?
What's that?
That's the next question.
Oh,
Where's it at?
it says it's in the cargo hold in box 18A. Wow, that music came on strong. Okay. So you guys are headed down to the cargo hold.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This will be fun. See if I can. Yeah, I know it's your ship and you're lost. All right. Stand by. I'm gonna see if I can do a thing. Oh, this will be really cool if it works. Hey, that worked. And all right. And you know what? The Ocho is going to come along too. And too many people are there. So let me clear these off. Whoops. I got too many screens. Now I'm all messed around. And we got to get the Ocho on there. There's the Ocho. Okay. I really need to spend some time and figure out tiles on this because that would make the cargo hold look really cool. But it is much more crowded than the visual representation would indicate currently. And the Ocho says, I might be able to interface with the ship's AI, even though it appears to not be verbal. That doesn't mean it's not still functioning. Would you like me to do that?
Sure. Let's see what it tells you.
What'd you say, Atticus?
Wasn't sure.
Okay. We're just gonna say that there is a like a wall jack right there that he can hardline into. So he walks over and pulls the tip of one finger off, which is a little disconcerting, and then a what looks like kind of a skeleton key that is a lot of circuitry protrudes out, and he plugs in, and he sits there for just a little bit and says, yeah, okay, so the AI is functional, but it seems to be having a little bit of a problem. It's not making a lot of sense and keeps referring to intruders.
Oh shit.
Hold on. And he is going to... Beautiful. He says, okay, I think I've got it calmed down enough that it's at least talking to me semi-coherently now. Give me a little bit. Near as I can tell, the case that you're looking for is going to be on the other side from where I am. So start looking for 18A there. Now, you guys head over to do that. We're going to cut back to the bridge. So that would be Dave and Mark. I'm sorry. Duvo and Mark and Josh. well, my bad again. That would be Duvo and Josh. What are you guys doing right now? Just monitoring screens?
That's all I've been doing. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm
Trying to
not
make
very
sure
good at the
nothing's
rest.
going like critical.
Okay. You do see some orange screens will pop up, and they're just notifications of mechanical problem found. Nothing says meltdown imminent or, head for the lifeboats or anything like that. But you are seeing a fair number of these alert screens. Mark, back to you and Rusty. You hold the thing up to your chest, and he says, "Hold still for just 10 seconds." And he does a thing at a terminal, and 10 seconds go by, and he says, "Okay, go ahead and set that down." As you see the screen begin to fill with information, and you did receive an unhealthy dose of radiation. It doesn't say that it's lethal, but Rusty says, "Yeah, we're not going to mess around with letting anything happen." And he starts digging around in one of the cabinets, and he says, go ahead and lay down and take your shirt off." All right. Back in the cargo hold. You guys are over there looking, and you find 16A, 17D, 18C, 18B, 18D. No 18A that is organized. Let's do some search rolls. Yay!
What is the?
Oh, it's a heartbreaker.
Oh, man. Oh, tick the boxes, boys. Okay. You frantically search the area, and you're just not seeing 18A. And are you saying anything to one another as you do this, or what's up?
Cursing.
Cursing?
Getting
Nice.
Getting a little pissed.
All right. The Ocho says from across the room, "Can't find it."
No, sir.
No, we are finding everything around it.
Okay.
Is there any kind of a description? Are they all the same?
Just from looking at the different boxes and stuff, there's very little difference. It's just that the number is on the outside. The identifier is on the outside. So you'll know it when you see it, but right now you ain't seeing it. The Ocho says, "Okay, your ship is getting really, really unreasonable about this again. And it's not telling me anything useful." So he jacks out.
Where are the intruders?
Near as I can tell, it has identified every life form currently on the ship as the intruders.
I was afraid you would say that.
Well, that's useful.
Yep. It's not great for anybody that breathes oxygen, he says. I am completely useless at searching for things, so I'm not going to be of any help. I'll let you guys try one more time, and whoever has the higher skill can roll it, and the other can aid them, giving them a plus 20.
I have 24.
I have a 31.
All yours.
All right, so I'm going for.
So
How
if
do
you
we do a?
right click on the die,
There
that
it
will
is.
bring up the interface. Hey! Wow.
There we go.
You didn't even need his lousy help, but you're thankful for
I am very thankful for your assistance.
it.
No problem.
All right. So it takes a couple of minutes, and the ship begins, during that time, there's a rattling sound. And the Ocho, as quickly as he can, moves back over and jacks back into the thing. And says, I think you should hurry.
Get the hell out of here.
So you guys find the thing, and you take the whole box with you, and open it. Open it when you get back upstairs. And he says, "Hurry up, get upstairs, and close that door." The AI is attempting to open the cargo bay airlock.
Oh boy. It's gone mad.
All right, so you guys get back upstairs, and I will once again do. That was cool. I haven't pulled anybody to a scene before. That was all right. All right, so you guys should now. What? Ah, come on. Okay, I found one thing that I don't like. I pulled you guys to the cargo deck, and when I right click on the main deck to activate it again, oh wait, did it activate for you guys?
Yep.
I'm on.
Okay, cool. All right,
We're not cargo.
so here's what I'm gonna do. I figured out my issue. There we go. And we're just gonna say the Ocho is Nocho. All right, so there you guys are. You get back up. You now have the part that you need. And you get back up on deck, closing the door at the bottom of the stairs leading up from the cargo bay. And you get back up on deck, and just in time for Josh and Dave and Greg to see on all of the screens a big red flashing notification that says system lockdown, combat state. Sorry about the delay there. So yeah, system lockdown, combat state, just flashing in red over and over on all of the screens.
The Ocho, the ESPN8, he said that Dax thinks we are all intruders on the ship. Can one of you convince him, reprogram him?
I look at the screen and I'm like, I can punch him, but I'm not the computer skills guy.
And I'll try to fix
Maybe,
it from one of the consoles.
I'm good with the wrench, but I'm afraid if I start hitting it, it's gonna believe I am an intruder.
And
If you're good with the wrench, let's go put this part in. We gotta go find the decom suits.
Do I use some bureaucracy on it?
um,
I'm joking.
you know, at some point maybe, but
Okay.
the conversation is interrupted by a very lilting female voice that says, "Ooh, who's the big guy?" And you can see clearly that Candy is standing. She's entered the bridge and she's pointing at Dave, or I'm sorry, Duvo. She is wearing what looks like a really old-fashioned, I say that because we're several thousand years into the future, but a very old-fashioned workout suit. It resembles kind of like a sports bra and some spandex shorts that covers her but leaves very little to the imagination. And
Candy, how good a friend are you with Dax, the ship?
Oh, we know each other quite well. It seems you boys have a problem.
You could say that.
And
A little bit.
when I say that, I mean, aside from not visiting me ever, my feelings are a little hurt. Mark. So, Rusty, you lay down. I take it you lay down and take off your shirt. Mark. Andy. I can see you talking on Discord, but I'm not hearing anything. That's really unfortunate.
They have lost him.
Yeah, I think it was him last time that had a bit of an issue. If you can hear us, go ahead and drop out and come back into Discord. Okay, well, we'll come back to him. Back to the very large crowd that's inhabiting the bridge currently. She's standing there looking at you guys.
No, Mark doesn't let us visit you.
That's really unfortunate.
That's all his fault. I think maybe you should go visit him more often.
I mean,
and
it's
talk to him
not
more often.
it's not that we haven't wanted to. He's just jealous.
I'm a married man.
She gives Duvo the pouty face when he says he's a married man. And she looks at the rest of you and says, you know, I'm not sure I'm buying that because he doesn't come visit me either.
Mark doesn't visit you?
No. It's been a very boring trip. It's been a really boring
sometimes when
time since Sweetie died and you guys took over. So, why don't you tell Candy what the problem is?
See, the problem is, ever since he died, the ship started blowing up, and We've all been too busy.
No, I mean with the ship.
Yeah, that's there. We got a pipe burst, and then we got a coupler that's missing, and it needs to be fixed or we'll all die.
Oh. Okay.
And then you'll have nobody to take care of.
Well,
Wink, wink.
we can't have that now, can we? So, is there anything you need or want from me right now?
Actually, yes. How good are you at fixing things?
Define things.
Okay, so imagine this. You're on a spaceship, and the coupler on a pipe just broke, leaking radiation and going to kill us all. Could you fix that pipe and coupler?
She shifts weight from one leg to the other and takes on what looks to be almost a supermodel pose that she's trying to appear nonchalant. And she's actually fairly good at it, but what she's doing is really obvious. And you get the little head, she flips her hair a little bit and says something to you in French. Do you speak French?
I don't think I do. I can check. Is there a language? I don't think I learned any languages.
Yeah, there are foreign language skills.
I mean, I am from Canada.
As am I.
I just don't have. I'm from the southern portion that is closer to the Americas.
Yeah.
So I have less of an accent.
You're from Detroit, Canada?
I'm gonna say I don't know French, but I do also know Spanish. But I know of Spanish, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm gonna say Spanish, but it's not gonna. I'm gonna say K or a S.
She just looks at you. Says, "Okay, I'll help, but I have conditions."
Like?
What are the conditions? Let's hear them.
Well, I'm not a dog, boys. I don't want to be locked up in a room anymore. It's really boring in there. I've had to entertain myself.
Fair enough.
I'm also a decent cook.
Josh unlocks a new kink. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Wow, that was bad.
That was bad.
She says, "Deal?"
I take that deal.
I think we can. Yeah. We accept the deal and we apologize. We did not mean to offend you.
Like I said, Mark is kind of a dick sometimes.
She says something else in French. And she holds out her slender hand and says, "Where's the part?"
I'm gonna hand her the entire box.
Okay. She sets it down, opens it up, says, "Okay, which one?" There's like 8 parts in there.
Can I just do like a quick compare and contrast?
Yeah, I'm not even going to make you roll. I was just messing with you.
Okay.
You remember which part it is. And yeah, it's that one. It's that one. So she grabs that part and says, "I'm off to the engineering. Anybody want to come with me?"
Yeah, actually, maybe, oh, he's not on the board, is he? What was it? Ocho.
Yeah, the Ocho is not currently
Oh, never mind.
on the bridge.
Disregard that then.
We're on the main deck. Okay.
I gotta watch the computers.
I mean, Josh He raises his hand and goes, I'll help.
We good.
I'm not the best at this, but I've been sitting in this room for a while.
I'm pretty mechanically minded, so I can tag along too.
Perfect, she says, and turns around and walks out. And she heads on
Get in a
down.
suit.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to wear suits.
I suit up.
Awesome. What you got going on there, Duvo?
It's like not. It won't let me go past the door, but it's open. Maybe I'll take the long way.
One of them was closed, but I was showing that you were outside. But whatever, we're good. Okay. So you two take a couple of minutes to get into a suit, and she stands there patiently and says, "You let me know if you need any help with the zippers." Then she looks a little disappointed when there's virtually no response. She keeps looking at you, Duvo. But you guys get into your suits, and she looks at you and says, "Everybody ready?"
We are ready.
Yep.
Perfect. And she opens the door and goes inside. Hey. All right, you guys get in there and door closes. All right.
I tell her I can hold the box for her. Or did she just have the part? I don't remember now.
Yeah, she just has the part.
Okay.
I was trying to decide what she was going to say and make it, PG-13 at
Make it-
least.
Yeah.
But yeah, she gives you a wink.
We survived this. You can hold on to her box later.
Wow. Andy, are you back amongst the talking? Mm-hmm.
No.
That's really unfortunate.
You can, as the owner of the Discord, you can forcefully move him to a different, create a different voice channel. You right click and make a new voice channel.
Oh, really?
You can then drag him into that voice channel, which will disconnect him, and then you can bring him back, and that'll reconnect him. Basically, forcefully disconnect and reconnecting him.
Oh, okay. We'll see if we can make that happen.
He may just be AFK too.
He might be, yeah. What a jerk. Okay, so there's a new... Wait, did I not do that right? I didn't do it.
You created a text channel, not a voice channel.
Yeah. Clearly, I'm a wizard at the Discord. Voice. Create. Okay. Stand by. Well, that was easy. Andy, are you back? Nope, he's clearly had enough. All right. I know what we'll do with Andy. It's fine. Okay. Real quick. He comes walking in, shirtless, looking really dazed. And he's got a big, and when I say big, it's like maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch at most, a hole in his chest.
Oh,
And it's not bleeding, but it's, I mean, you can see red inside it. So it's clearly broken skin. And he just looks really out of it. And he walks in and says, "What happened?"
we're in some trouble. You had some radiation poisoning, and we were trying to fix stuff.
And as
What
you
happened
say
to
that,
you?
he walks up next to you and he just puts his whole hand onto your face and squeezes just a tiny bit. Wow, you are real. And he sits down on the floor.
Are you okay?
And you say that, and he answers you, but he's addressing your feet, your boots, and he says, "Oh yeah. Yeah, Rusty said I was something, and then he stabbed me. It was weird." And then he points at one foot and then the other and says, "Which one of you has the mouth?" And
Here.
moving away from the bridge where fun things are occurring, back to engineering. So she says to Duvo, who is standing right next to her, says, "Give me a boost. I got to get up there." And she points to a hatch. Excuse me, I'm having trouble this evening. That is right where I've pinged. I'm going to move the map a little bit.
Hey, there at the. Yep, I see it.
Yep, right there. And she says, "Don't be shy."
All right. He cups his hands and I'm gonna step into my hands.
Right. And she sits down in them. Well, lift.
All right. Uppies.
I guess I'll pick you up from here. He lifts her up like a yell leader, getting like putting up a cheerleader in the air.
Yep.
We need to roll athletics or something.
Nah. No athletics roll required. She's an android, so you assume there's a lot of metal in there, but she's surprisingly light. And appears to have what could only be described as great muscle tone. And let's see. We'll come back to that. fluctuating volume. It's killing me.
I
Okay.
turned my main volume down and it stopped.
Did it?
Yeah, like I turned it down to like 10%,
Oh, yeah.
just the main music volume, and it stayed.
Set my
Mine,
browser volume down and it helped.
no such luck for me. Okay. Anyway. So you lift her up and she opens up the hatch and she starts looking in. She says, a little to the left. And you shuffle to the left slightly. And she says, no, I meant your right hand. And she starts chuckling as she starts digging around in that hatch. And she says, okay, in all seriousness, a little higher, please.
Okay.
So you lift her up higher, and she goes into that hatch up to like midway of her upper arm, and she's messing around in there, and you hear this, that, and the other thing, and she says, okay, Josh, I need a tool. There should be one underneath one of those consoles. It's going to look like word vomit.
So I'd go ahead and move over to the console and look for word vomit.
Okay. It doesn't take too long to find word vomit. And you hand her the tool. And she takes it and goes back to doing stuff. And it's at that point she very casually says, it's Duvo, right?
Yes.
What's your stamina like, big guy?
I mean, I think it's pretty good.
She says, good, because you're going to have to hold me here for several minutes. You just let me know if you want to change positions. You know, with all these puns and double entendre, it's a real shame that Andy's not here.
It is.
I wonder if I'll be able to get him to watch the recording.
He's definitely missing out.
He is. All right. So she goes back to doing stuff. And Josh, since you're now wearing a suit, actually you and Duvo both hear well, I don't know if you'd find it annoying or not, but you hear the voice of the Ocho. And he says, is anybody picking this up? Hello? Anybody?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, only,
Check.
yep, only Josh and Duvo hear this. Nobody else does.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. He says, oh, good. So, I don't know if you got filled in or not, but there's a slight problem with the ship's AI. It's actively taking steps to attempt to kill all of you. And it seems to be slightly crazy. I've been able to hold it off for, well, up till now, but it's becoming more and more erratic, and it's getting a little harder to control. So, if I think I can unlock one of the terminals in engineering. If somebody who is good at interfacing with the ship could type in some stuff, that would be great. I realize that you're going to have to wear a suit. So, can we get somebody in there?
What do we need for what do we need for skills on this? Just so I know if I need to try to get somebody else.
Yeah, it's going to be computer science.
Josh scratches his head and goes, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to be the guy. Hold on. And I look over at Duvo and I say, you got this for a minute? I'm going to have to go find somebody else to take care of this.
Candy says,
Better than she looks.
Candy says, oh, he's got things well in hand.
I see the smile on her face and I nod and I head out the door and close it behind me. So
Okay.
no more radiation leaks out than it has to.
Yep.
And I go ahead and hop out of my suit and head up to here. There we go. And I run in and I say, I need somebody who can work on a computer down in engineering. Who's our person? I look around and
So, I'll keep Mark company, Atticus. You should go do this.
Sounds right. I'll head
so
over.
I say follow me and we run back down over here.
Well, I need a suit. So,
I'm gonna come down. I was gonna come down and help you get in the suit, and then I'm gonna head back to the bridge.
Okay, so you guys are doing that. As soon as Josh leaves the bridge, Mark looks at Gabriel's feet and says, why is he hollow? And points to where Josh used to be.
It's a long story. Are you sure you feel okay?
I'm pretty sure I can't feel anything right now. And he looks at his left hand and grabs a hold of his middle finger with his right hand and starts to try and bend it all the way back.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's where's your shirt, man?
Oh, it's back in the med bay.
Let's right now I'm thinking that I'm not sure about Rusty, if Dax is this far off his kilter. I'm a little nervous about Rusty. Do we have here? Kind of feel like somebody needs to stay on the bridge. Is Greg in the bridge?
Yeah, Greg is there.
Hey, Greg, keep an eye on the screens, okay? Mark and I will be right back.
Okay, yeah.
Quarters.
Oh yeah, you're gonna go
take Mark to quarters
and
find him,
knock him out.
some clothes, and maybe apply some concussive anesthetic.
All right, I'm just gonna move you.
That's cool.
Okay, that's where you guys are. Greg is now hanging out on the bridge all by himself. Oh, wait. Josh, you said you were going to get Atticus suited up and then you were going to head to the bridge, right?
Yep. I'm
Okay.
headed back to the bridge.
So you'll be back there. By the time you get there, Mark is, or Greg is just standing there roughly in the middle. And he's just slowly turning around, focusing on each screen for just a couple of seconds and then moving on. And he says, everything looks angry. All right, Atticus, you get into the engineering room, and as soon as you get your suit on, you hear the Ocho, and the Ocho is saying, "Okay, is somebody there that can do ship interface now?"
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to send you some stuff to your HUD. I need you to execute these commands. And you see text just begin to scroll. Make me a computer science roll. You can add +20.
Right click the dice.
Watch for viruses.
You're not there.
Run malware bites.
Only 50.
Hey, it's a good thing you added that +20. All right. So you execute a series of commands, and the ship stops shaking at that point. And you hear the Ocho come over the comm and say, "Oh, good. I was about to lose control. Ship's AI is disabled right now. Well, sleeping is more an apt description. So don't do anything to wake it up." And Atticus, you're now in engineering with the door closed, and when the ship stops shaking, Candy lets out a slightly disappointed sound and says, "Aw, that was exciting." Little higher, big guy.
All right.
Okay, a couple more minutes go by. She says a couple of bad words and then pulls her arm out, drops the dead part on the floor, and hands you the tool. And then she says, "Oh yeah, you got your hands full," and holds it out to Atticus. Atticus takes the tool. She closes the hatch and says, "Okay, to the ground, I guess, unless you're enjoying this."
He slowly puts her down, and he's trying really hard not to blush.
She turns around and she pats your helmet, the cheek of your helmet, and says, "Thanks." And she says, I don't know the commands, but you should be able to re-engage that part now."
I need to roll again.
Well, you don't know what commands to run. She says you ought to be able to contact the ship's AI and find out.
I'm not doing that.
You want me
I'll try
to?
typing in. No. Let me try typing help.
I think the ship's AI and us are on a little bit of a break.
Okay. All right. You type in help, and it doesn't take too long, and you find the command you need to re-engage that. You actually find it in some of the diagnostic information, and you execute the command, and things begin sounding better. And it doesn't take too long, and pretty much everything on the ship is back to normal, except you have a well, you still have a bunch of ambient radiation floating around. So, do either of you have... Duvo, you've got some mechanics skills.
Yep.
All right. You can roll craft mechanics or hot wire, either way. Pick the one you want, since they're both the same. And let's see what you get. Oh, awesome. All right. Very nice. Very nice. You figure out pretty quick, having some experience with ship engines and some mechanical things. There is a thing that you can do to. I mean, this sounds goofy, and I really don't know much about radiation, but there's a thing you can do to mitigate that. It's not really flushing it, but there's a thing you can do to mitigate it that I'm just going to hand wave so I don't sound more ignorant.
It shoots lead particles into the air that they breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
You run it through the air handlers, and then it goes through the filters. It's a thing.
Exactly. So,
The flux capacitor thing.
You have to have it set to 11.
yep, 11. I would make another joke, but I think I've come dangerously close to going too far a couple times with Candy. So at that point, you do the thing, and you guys can exit. It's not an immediate thing. It's going to take 2 or 3 hours for it to fully purge. So, you go outside the engineering room. The door closes. You start taking off your suits. Candy says, I feel like maybe my outfit has some radiation on it too. Should I take that off?
Let me just avert my eyes to the corner and then sure.
Okay. All right.
Josh hits record on the security screen.
Oh, you guys. It is an absolute shame that Andy's not here. All right.
He averts his eyes, but he uses the reflection on another suit's visor to watch anyway.
Excellent. Okay. So while that's going on, Gabe, hang on just a sec. Sorry, I had to cough real loud, so I muted. Gabe, you get Mark into the crew's quarters, and he's really strange guy right now, but he's pretty docile. So you get a new shirt on him and you get him laid down, and he starts just staring at the ceiling and counting. So you feeling like it's probably all right.
I'm not sure I want to leave him alone.
That's fair.
He might wander into the kitchen and try to cook something. Shoot.
Bang. You kill him. No?
No.
That's okay.
I'm just gonna kind of keep watch over him for a while.
Okay. So you do that. Things slowly begin to, mechanically at least, return to normal on the bridge. red flashing screens turn into not red flashing screens. Things are settling down. The ship is sounding and running much better than it was, and it seems to progressively get better and better. More back to normal operation. So Duvo, you avert your eyes and point them towards a mirrored mask, and the view is slightly distorted because of the curve, but you get a couple of eyefuls, and she taps you on the shoulder and says, "Thanks for the fun, big guy. I'll return the favor one of these days." And she saunters off down the hall.
Note to self, get brunette wig and buck teeth at next stop.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Over the next several hours, things get to be more normal. Mark wakes up. After a few hours, and he's pretty much back to normal. Says he has a really bad headache, but he's pretty much back to normal. Rusty seems... I know you were concerned about Rusty, but Rusty appears to be fully autonomous from the ship's AI. He didn't display any super bizarre behavior. And the Ocho comes back up from downstairs in the cargo bay and says, I'm not sure what to do about the ship's AI. You might need a complete power down and cycle it back up. But if that doesn't work, I don't know what to do. That thing was really unhappy, and it was talking some crazy stuff. So I would, definitely don't power the ship down while we're in jump space, though. That would be not productive. So,
Pretty sure that was not anybody's plan.
yep. All right. So the rest of the trip in jump space goes pretty uneventfully. Things have occurred. You guys handled it pretty well overall. You find out for the rest of the trip through jump space, which is a while, that Candy is very active. She does get redressed. She doesn't run around in her manufacturer suit. Is that the droid equivalent to a birthday suit?
We'll go with that.
Yep. And you do find out that she really is. She wasn't kidding. She's a pretty good cook. She makes 3 or 4 meals over the time that you're doing stuff and hanging out. And so not only do you find out that she's a pretty decent cook, anybody who engages in conversation with her discovers that she knows a lot of history. She basically has a degree in psychotherapy. She's really quiet. She snuck up on 2 or 3 of you. She doesn't miss much. She has some medical skills. She speaks French. And, you already knew this, she's a really good ship's mechanic. So there's more to her than just her chassis.
More than just a pretty face.
There you go. I don't. Wow. All right. So, the rest of the jump space trip goes uneventfully. You find those things out. You guys exit jump space. And when you exit jump space and come out of the gate, there are 3 ships sitting there. And as soon as you get out of jump space, an alert flashes up on the screen and says something to the effect of, oh, the word just flew out of my brain. Something inhibitor detected, and essentially a message that says, you ain't going anywhere super fast. So, you kind of get the feeling that this is what a gate camp looks like. And then...
Got a good feeling when we first came in here.
and then you get a comms hail from one of the ships.
Who's our comms man?
Well, Greg does sensors. So he... Whoops. He runs to his station and he fires up the sensors and says, "You guys want me to accept the comm, or what are we doing here?"
Yeah, I think we need to accept the call.
Okay. So on this big screen in the bridge, an image pops up, and I will give you, just as soon as I open the right thing, something to look at. A person is standing in front of the camera on the other side, and you see her.
Does that look familiar?
Billie Eilish?
Yes, why does that look familiar?
Oh, it's this chick.
Oh, who knows her?
Is this the one chick? Is this the one chick that escaped?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought we might have killed them all. But it looks like it's...
No, you did not kill them all. So when you guys were doing that salvage job, and Mesa showed up, this was one of the people that was with Mesa. And she's got this smug smile on her face and says, "We've got you. You're not going anywhere. Here's the deal. You either allow us to board your ship and surrender, or we'll blow you out of the sky." I'll give you 5 minutes to chat. And the comm goes dark. And Greg confirms that she's terminated, so it's not like she's trying to pull one over on you there.
I quickly look over at everybody and say, "Am I firing up the guns, guys? What are we doing?"
Mark is back to normal now, and he's back in engineering, and he reports that jump acceleration, the jump engine is what is being inhibited. He says whatever that inhibitor thing is, it is dampening the engines, but I mean, there's got to be a way around it. And Atticus, that spawns an idea for you to start typing and looking. So give me a computer science roll. Very nice. Yeah, you think it's going to take a few minutes, but you're pretty sure that you can mitigate that, restore full power to the non-jump engines, and you're also pretty sure you can do it without them knowing.
Do it.
All right, you start in on that. Wow.
Oh no, that's it.
Yeah, that's
I thought it
great.
was 70.
Nope.
I'm doing some tactics planning.
Okay. We're going to move you back onto the bridge. And we're going to put Mark down in engineering again. Radiation-free engineering. Alrighty. So, 3 minutes go by. 4 minutes go by. You guys are sitting there waiting for the results of Atticus's computer work.
Should we get a backup plan while I'm trying to do some crap?
And I'm sitting with my hands on the guns at this point.
Okay.
Ready for any action that happens.
Okay. 4.5 minutes in, there's another comms hail. And Greg accepts it, and she comes back on the screen and says, so what's it going to be? As Atticus types in the last command, hits what amounts to the enter key, and it's done. Mark
We're off to
reports.
visit your mother.
Mark reports full engine capabilities. So you guys are ready to throw down? Does anybody have anything snarky to say to her other than what Atticus just said?
No.
Okay.
Nope. I get my hands ready and I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Waiting for somebody to tell me to punch it.
Punch it, Chewy. That's what Andy would say. All right. So the command is given and it is punched, and I'm going to show you a journal that you all have access to. This is the thing that I was excited about doing tonight, and we blew enough time. We may not get it all done. We may not even get started, but Starship Combat. So everybody has a job. You know, we've got engineering, we've got piloting, we've got navigation, we've got gunnery, and we've got comms as a floating action that can occur at any point during the combat round. Initiative, the ship with the highest handling, plus 1d10 goes first, or pilot decks if there's a draw. In this case, there is a draw, so we're going to go off pilot decks. So players choose combat actions and roll in the following order. We're going to do engineering first, then piloting, then navigations, then gunnery, and comms can go anywhere in there. The engineering roll impacts the piloting roll. The navigations roll impacts the gunnery roll. We compare success levels of the piloting skill rolls. Yours against whoever their pilots is, and pick piloting special effects, if any. Then at that point, things move on, and gunnery initiative goes to the ship with the highest success level in piloting, which I thought was pretty cool. It's modified by the navigations roll or is left unchanged if there's a draw. So again, opposed rolls. So you roll gunnery, include any modifiers from pilot combat actions, navigation combat actions, or special effects. And you compare success levels and pick any gunnery special effects and roll for damage and hit location. We're not going to do hit location. We'll bring that in potentially some other time. Excuse me. And then initiative for the next pilot roll goes to the ship with the highest success level in gunnery, or it's left unchanged if there's a draw. And we have to keep track of any modifiers carrying over to the next round, and then you just rinse and repeat. So the combat round is a little involved for Starship Combat, but it's not too bad, and it keeps everybody involved instead of you guys just sitting around waiting. So if you scroll down there, you can look at engineering combat actions, pilot combat actions, and those things. We need to set out. Atticus is definitely navigation. That's the traditional role he's filled. Mark is definitely engineering. Gabe is definitely piloting. And Josh, losing names here, is gunnery. So comms really can amount to it's been too long since I looked at this. There's gunnery special effects, pilot special effects. I appear to be missing the comms section entirely. So here's what we're going to do. For comms, Dave or Duvo, that can be your role. You'll be able to pick before they roll one individual, either engineering, piloting, navigations, or gunnery, and you'll be able to aid them. So you'll be able to give them a plus 20 to whatever they're rolling. And, we're just going to chalk that up to helping coordinate things and passing along information so that they can really focus on what their job is. Sound good?
Cool.
All right. So you guys, I need to change the music. You know what? It's 8:57. I blew too much time. We're not going to make it. So we're going to start next session with Starship Combat.
With the combat
With
action.
the combat action. Yes. That's what it's going to be. So we'll start with guns ablazing and ships in a dogfight, and hopefully it'll be really fun.
And you said there's 3 of them?
There are 3 ships there, yes.
Okay.
I will
We'll
get,
see how it goes.
yeah, I will get everybody this information, the Starship Combat, so you can all take a look at your respective combat actions and special stuff and whatnot. And I'll see if I can. I have to have it somewhere. I'll find my comms stuff, and we'll go from there.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yep, I'll read the gunnery stuff here.
Right on. Sorry for the slight weirdness tonight, guys. the music being funky and some other difficulties had me feeling a little frazzled.
No, you're good.
But I hope it was
No, I thought you
still
did great.
worthwhile. All right, cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
added to the tension of the ship.
Hey, that's what we'll go with. Very complimentary of you, Dave. All right, guys.
You did great.
That's another one in the can. Next time,
All right.
it's pew pew.
Sounds
Ready to
good.
go.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Yep.
What's up?
Appreciate it, guys. Sorry I was late there.
Very good.
Yeah. Have a good evening.